fact that he gets to play victim now.
Yeah.
Is not what anyone wants. No one wants to see him crying anymore. He's done that enough.
Well, like as far as the return episode getting a pop, like a lot of people are speculating this, but even with Colbert, it was like 2 nights where everyone rallied and it was like this big deal or whatever. What's he been up to lately? Like when's the last time you saw a Colbert clip? I think the same thing's gonna happen to Kimmel because I think libs are just so demoralized that they'll maybe muster up enough strength to back Kimmel for like a night or two, and then he'll just be obscure again, back to obscurity.
It's not like this isn't going to give him better ratings. Like you might, like you said, you might get a pop, but
he'll get a night.
It's still going to be the same content that people have been moving away from, or the same show that people have been moving away from for the past at least 5 years.
If he comes back in blackface, I'll respect it.
Maybe.
Or Malone.
I'd tune in. Shoot, that'd be awesome.
He won't.
I don't know what the left would say to that.
I will just.
I don't think it really matters. I think his return show tomorrow is going to have a massive viewership. It's going to be the biggest show he's done probably ever. Maybe not. I mean, with television dying, maybe he was getting a lot more ratings. And with an aging demographic, his ratings dropped 43% from July into August. Here's what I think. I was on Piers Morgan earlier, and the most annoying thing in the world is how literally everybody, even conservatives, are like, well, the FCC's comments should have, and the FCC is, I'm like, the FCC has little to do with why he was taken off the air. I think Brendan Carr's statements did play a role, probably minimal, because advertisers, according to the Wall Street Journal, were calling ABC upset. And you got to imagine with the Bud Light effect and Target getting hit by it, they were like, we don't want to be associated with whatever it is this guy's doing. He's got to apologize or something. And Jimmy Kimmel said, no, I won't do that. They said, you're going to make it worse. He said, so what? They said, your show's off the air. Now he's coming back a week later and he's going to do exactly that. He's going to make it a lot worse. You know what happened? I think it is fairly obvious. Now, when I was on Piers Morgan, I said, why are you all making assumptions the FCC was responsible for this? You're literally saying Trump pressured them and Trump was mad. We have no evidence at all that Trump was in any way affiliated or associated with the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. None. Brendan Carr made a statement to Benny Johnson. It was probably off the cuff. Maybe it got ABC a little scared, but the advertising affiliates were the main reason. And so I'm saying to these people, you are speculating as to the reason. Now, we're asking ourselves, what did Jimmy Kimmel do to get brought back on the air? And we have no information. The reporting suggests he just negotiated his way back on. In that case, I'm willing to speculate. This is terrorism. A guy shot up an ABC affiliate. A bunch of local ABC stations were getting terror threats of violence. Sinclair pulled their memorial to Charlie Kirk. I think the only thing we're seeing is that when faced with a threat of, and let's be very clear here, when faced with a threat of boycott, it's you know, okay, that's a bad thing. Bud Light lost a lot of money. Disney's probably saying we don't want to boycott. But now they're receiving terroristic threats a week after Charlie Kirk had an assassin put a bullet in his neck. And imagine you're Bob Iger, and you see someone drive by and shoot up an ABC affiliate. You see Sinclair being like, our affiliates are getting death threats and terror threats. And then Jimmy Kimmel says, want to put my show back now? And you go, please, just stop. Okay, I'll do whatever you want. A threat of a boycott means nothing. The threat of death means everything. So Republicans sitting here saying, we are going to pat ourselves on the back and we're going to wag our fingers. That's not the motivating issue here. They said, you know what? You guys getting mad at us over this only goes so far. Bob Iger is probably sitting there calling his security guards. Because I'll tell you what, because I deal with this. I guarantee you Bob Iger had a consultation with the security guys and they said the threat assessment against your life just went up 100-fold. And he was like, why? And they're like, they killed Charlie Kirk a week ago. They're shooting up ABC stations and threatening to shoot up more. Okay, you need to cave. And he says, I'll do anything they say. And drop to his knees like a whiny, scared little bitch.
Just like in 2020.
Indeed.
The same thing. They bent the knee constantly.
When the left says they will murder you, everyone believes them. I do. They do. I don't see any legitimate reason why ABC would return a loose. Let's be very clear here. Roseanne was their highest rated show. This is what everybody's been saying. Roseanne was their highest rated show, and get this, they pulled her off the air because she tweeted a joke. That's how terrified they were of the left. They will sacrifice all of their profit on her show, which is massive. The Connors ratings collapsed, and we had Roseanne on the show, and she said they asked her to come back later as a ghost, and she refused to do it. That's how bad it was. They were desperate. In this instance, Jimmy Kimmel is losing millions, tens of millions most likely, and they're willing to lose that money, and I'm going to ask why. They don't have the audience for it. 129,000 in the key demo, 1 million in total viewers. My estimate based on those numbers and sales is what? Is he pulling in $20K an episode? That's me being generous. And he's getting paid $15 million a year. What would motivate a company to lose money on a failing show, especially after even Colbert already has contract canceled? I'm going to tell you, I think Bob Iger and Dana Walden are scared of getting a bullet in the neck just like Charlie Kirk got.
Well, I mean, it's a legitimate concern, right? Like whether it be actual assassination attempts or just the rioting that you saw in 2020 or, you know, the smaller scale riots that you've seen since, the protests and stuff. Everyone knows, as much as the left swears up and down that they're not violent, as much as the left swears up and down, no, the right is violent, the right are the ones that carry out all this.
As is tradition. Play the Dean song. Now one day, Dean's gonna quit TikTok and then we're gonna have to make a brand new song. But that day is not today. Dean still has most of his hair and he's going bald. Might be a couple years yet before he goes completely bald. Might be a couple years. First, let me do a little setup back here, guys. Just give me a second.
This one is for
Go on.
What?
I might have to add you again
Why?
on Minecraft. Wait, hold.
I already sent you an invite.
everyone still knows that it's the left and Democrats and Democrat politicians will not condemn it, right? Like they will actually say things like, "You need to be out in the streets. You need to be out, protesting this, knowing what's going to happen." So, I mean, I don't know exactly what I don't have any kind of inclination as to what the actual behind-the-scenes conversations were like, but it's definitely true that there is a legitimate risk that some crazy leftist will try to kill you. I mean, you had the attack on the Sacramento, California ABC station. So, I mean, it's compelling.
Yeah, I mean, but I kind of want to reframe this a little bit because there is something to be said about the fact that post Bud Light, the conservatives are actually able to throw their weight around and they're actually able to impose their will on the culture like this. Because the fact that the left is having to resort to, violence in this case to get Jimmy Kimmel back on the air. But I mean, that shows that conservatives they're actually.
Yo, dog, turn on.
Respond to conservatives.
They're not resorting to it. They've been doing it for. This is why Trump is designated Antifa terrorist organization.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the fact that we're able to put them in a position where the only way they can keep
Turn it
Jimmy Kimmel
on.
on air is by shooting up ABC stations. I mean, that does show how.
I need to be able to hear what you're fucking saying.
Turn on survival
Whereas with
mode.
as an example, when she
What?
got pulled, I think
It is on survival.
advertiser boycott was probably like
Where are the zombies?
where like when Elon was bringing free speech back
That's
to
on
X
survival,
and, like,
that's
the
just a different
advertiser boycott
difficulty.
happened, like that was real. That did
Oh,
happen.
fucking put it
X's
on
revenue
the other
got
difficulty.
crushed. I don't know if like the big corporations that are doing advertising on mainstream media actually are so committed to a change of heart or to disavowing political violence that their threats were even real. I think maybe they were caught up in the moment after.
Put it on the fucking difficulty.
It was a bluff, right?
And the advertisers and the affiliates.
And so it might have been easier for Sinclair.
Well, it's not Sinclair saying they're still not going to air. So if they're not bluffing, they might be. Maybe tomorrow they put it back on the air.
But
Bro, how many fucking hits can you take?
Indeed. Yeah. That's why I would make the argument it's about the terror threats. The Bud Light effect is scary. Bud Light has never recovered. I was
Yo,
wrong about that.
give
I
me
thought they
back my
were gonna-
diamond
that numbers
pants.
were gonna come back around. Bud Light's never recovered. This is actually
Give
pretty
me back my diamond pants.
I think, who was the comedian I was on with Piers with? Jeff Dye, I think his name was. They added these guests at the last minute. With no disrespect, he made a great point that imagine after George Floyd died, if someone came out and a comedian like Jimmy Kimmel came out and said, George Floyd died because he was resisting arrest. This is what you do. People would have lost their minds. I mean, they were rioting and burning down cities. Well, here's the deal. When Jimmy Kimmel implied that the shooter was a Trump supporter and the right got mad, there was fear among advertisers and affiliates that this is going to cause a backlash. And then ABC said, okay, Jimmy, don't. No, wait, Jimmy, you're going to make it worse off the air. Then a guy drove up and unloaded on an ABC station. A bunch of local affiliates got terror threats. And then, within a few days, Bob Iger's like, Jimmy, please come back. I don't see... There is a fear of the Bud Light effect, but I got to tell you, if these guys, like this... I assure you, man.
Yo!
These guys have
Leave me alone!
Why are you running if you...
Leave me alone!
Why are you running?
Shane knows all about it.
Nah, dog, why you chasing me? Leave me alone!
Because it will expose, it will
Oh.
danger, it will inflame the stalkers, it will make things substantially more dangerous for us. Based on what we deal with, and I gotta tell you this, there are people behind the scenes here that are also getting death threats. I mentioned this last week.
Leave me alone.
From crew being like, I am receiving death threats to my email right now. Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, I bet you someone sent him a photo of his kids or like his grandkids or something, and a picture of his home. Because the threat of Bud Light effect is terrifying to a business. But you know what's scarier? When someone shoots up an ABC station and then
Yeah, that's what I thought,
You
bitch.
know their threats are real. When this guy who shot at the ABC station got released by the local jail, the FBI swooped in and arrested him.
Bro, I didn't even take
And
anything.
so I'll tell you this: you're the
Why are you
CEO of
running?
Disney. You have a private
Because,
security
dude,
company because
you
are the
won't
CEO
listen.
of Disney. You are getting death threats. I don't think there's a reality where they're not. And your security assessment, your security liaison, he comes to you and he says, "Okay, The threats against you have increased 1,000-fold, literally, overnight because of the firing of Jimmy Kimmel. They're actively shooting into these stations, and they just released it. He's in California. He's probably like, okay, whatever they want, just make it stop. Listen, no
All right.
is worth fearing that
Fucking
someone's going to put a bullet in your neck when you least expect it. You won't be able to spend that money. I mean, I got to be honest, because I'm
Where did
pissed
the
off.
shit go?
Security, I really want
I
to
saw it floating down.
And a lot of people did. And a lot of people without fear.
Where'd it go?
Because my security team came and they were like, it's going to cost a lot of money. And I said, we can't afford it. And they said, well, then we can't provide you security. I said, okay, what's the point of the money? If I have to fear landing on an airplane and getting shot by some lunatic. Because the threats have weight to them. The threats that we're receiving. The stalkers, the threats, it's nuts. Particularly in those areas. So this has me really pissed off. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the terrorist threat, the threats are real, and that's why it's good that Donald Trump is taking these kind of threats seriously and going after Antifa and stuff, because largely people that would make threats, if they're not a part of an organization like Rose City Antifa, they're absolutely loosely affiliated with these people.
Let's read the next story from National Review. Specifically, suspect in ABC station shooting left a note to officials they are next. Prosecutors believe the suspect who allegedly opened fire on the ABC 10 station in Sacramento on Friday was politically motivated, explaining that a search of the suspect's vehicle yielded a note that criticized members of the Trump administration and appeared to reference the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk. The Sacramento Police Department executed a search of 64-year-old
Come on, dog.
Santana's home, where they not only found the semi-automatic 9mm.
All right, yo, invite me, and then we'll go explore, okay? We'll go fucking mine.
Also, various pieces of evidence that suggested
Yeah, dog, that's
that he
what
was
you call?
motivated. Okay, so
That's what you're gonna
killed
call
her
it,
there.
dog?
But NBC News reports
Yeah.
similarly.
Well,
People
dude,
also dug
I
up
don't have
said
anything.
tweets of his where he makes a bunch of inflammatory comments. So we've already talked in great deal about how this, in my opinion, motivated Disney to bring Jimmy Kimmel back. My question is, Trump has designated Antifa a terror organization. We're going to get into all that. But we are now dealing with, I mean, this is a week and a half after a political assassination. They're threatening to do it again.
Come on, dog.
Disney is giving in. Where do we go from here?
And it's a year after the two attempts on the life of the president.
Right. Do you think Bob Iger is so insane that despite the news of this being a leftist, he still thinks it's right-wing violence coming from him? Or do you think they actually understand the reality of leftist?
They know. They know for a fact. But you don't spend millions of... I will tell you this, Bob Iger probably spends $5-10 million a year on security. He's the CEO of Disney. And his security guards are coming to him in line. They're not going to go to him and be like, yeah, it's creepers. No, he's paying for real, legit guys. And they're saying, the threat is the left.
I hope so. Because these people are insane, too. And, despite showing some of these people facts. I know you're saying...
Yo, dog, invite.
I know in the real world, not like Iger, obviously. Who, despite me showing them the facts, they still...
Why should I do that?
Oh, yeah.
Possible, but good.
Because we'll go mine.
Possible, but I don't see.
Is that what you call it?
He's got like Tim said, he's got.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it.
These guys are the top of the
Come on
line
now.
when it comes to personal security and stuff. And I don't see why he would be like, no man, I'm sure that it's the other guys. And to be honest with you, from his perspective, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, it's I have a security concern. Doesn't matter who's going to be doing the issues, who the person might be or what their politics might be. Right. It's just the security's concern.
He's 74 years old. So what kind of politics do you think he might have?
Like Joy Behar.
It might be, indeed. Yeah.
In his 70s, maybe he remembers what the late 60s and early 70s were like with all the left-wing bombing and all the attacks and stuff, because you see the comments about how the right is the perpetrators of most political violence, and they always started at like 1975. They never go back to 65.
Iger.
Because,
Iger left the Democratic Party in 2016. Yeah. And he dropped his party affiliation to independent. However, it doesn't mean a lot, but I have to imagine that, they say online he's described himself as a centrist. I think it's fairly obvious.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
I think we should expect to see more terror because the left is basically saying right now, terror works. The fact that Jimmy Kimmel is coming back on the air, they've asserted the threat of death. It works. And what's crazy is the thought leaders, the movers and the shakers of the Democratic Party and the left don't need to get their own hands dirty because they've got a bunch of stochastic terrorists, or I should say they are the stochastic terrorists invoking the terrorism. They are the people going on TV and saying, oh, won't someone rid me of this priest? And then people go and do it.
I mean, look, just like Arwen was saying today on your interview with him, you need the federal government to do its job, right? Like we don't have a system where people can take these issues into their own hands. And even if you hired private investigators or private security, you still need law enforcement to actually do the grabbing of the bad guys, right? Like for it to be legal. You could have private investigators, private security, they might be able to hold someone if they catch him, but it's going to be law enforcement that's going to pick
Come
them up.
on, dog.
A justice department that actually does want to lower the amount of violent crime that's happening. And I don't know that we have that yet. We have a lot of judges that will let people go. We have a lot of DAs that don't want to prosecute, and that's one of the biggest problems America faces for not just the next couple years, but probably for the next couple decades, is how do we get these DAs and these judges to actually put people in jail when they align with the judge politically?
Yeah, well, I mean, the sad thing is in this case, when you have, these organizations like MSNBC just radicalizing grandfathers across the country, I mean, no matter what laws you have on the books, and even if you're enforcing them, like, you can't stop some MSNBC American from crashing out and shooting up an ABC studio. I mean, it's just the environment we're in is like we need a top-down cultural change as well.
Yes.
Because this is just completely unacceptable. You have these atomized boomers that, I mean, they feel like Jimmy Kimmel is this victim of a fascist government crackdown, and they need to do something about it. I mean,
They made it up.
yeah, like what laws could you pass to prevent that from happening?
I mentioned this earlier that I went on Piers Morgan today, and every single person was like, the FCC did this to Jimmy. And I was like, that's nowhere in the reporting. Nowhere, literally not reported anywhere. The FCC actually had in any way contact. And,
Dog, you got to invite again.
So are you saying it's a coincidence? And I'm like, honest question for you guys. Do you think that Bob Iger was watching the Benny Johnson podcast?
I don't know anymore. Anything's possible.
I'd say probably not.
Yeah.
I do think that his statements, which made it to the news, probably trickled its way into the conversation. But that wasn't in the ear of Dana Walton or.
Wait, do it again.
What was in their ear was that advertisers called them and were upset, and so were affiliates. I don't. And so, with all due respect to Benny, I do think the FCC thing was big and it played a role, but they have to say this because the story has to be about Trump. It can't just be that Disney was like, we don't want to lose money, so you're fired.
What are the odds you think, this is going to sound like a crazy statement, but I'm going to say it anyway, that Kimmel comes out and tries to do something unifying? I mean, he can't because he's horrible.
The reporting is he won't apologize.
Even if that, I mean, I know he won't apologize, but...
Wait, invite again.
...percentage that he's going to try. It won't work.
I think what he's going to say
autism.
He's going to... So, what's the guy's name? Is it the guy was on the Piers, John Fugel saying or something? I'm not trying to mispronounce his name on purpose. He was saying that Jimmy Kimmel was 100% factually correct. That MAGA was trying to paint this man as anything but a MAGA guy. What he's saying is that, no, we know he wasn't MAGA. And those Trump supporters were trying real hard to make sure everybody else did too. But that's not the implication being made by Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, the way he said it was, they tried, I'm paraphrasing, but really hard to make people believe he wasn't anything but one of their own. The implication, of course, being he was. Jimmy Kimmel's going to come out and say, the point that I made on my show was that we know this guy wasn't a MAGA guy, and boy, were Trump supporters trying real hard to make sure everybody heard that. He's not going to apologize, but he is going to say, I had already issued a statement saying horrible. So this was in no way intended to offend anybody, and to take it out of proportion. Then I think he's going to criticize Trump supporters for intentionally twisting his words for the political reasons. He's going to say, Trump's base did this. They knew what I meant, and they did this to try to get my show canceled. He's then going to attack the FCC and say they intentionally targeted the networks. I believe that's what it'll say, something to that effect. So it will be somewhat of course the shooting is bad, but the reason why I think that, maybe I'm wrong, is because that's what every liberal, mainstream liberal, is trying to do right now. Of course Charlie Kirk shouldn't die, but he was evil, right? So why wouldn't he do anything different?
Yeah, I mean, Kimmel saw Colbert, how he got the, king treatment. Oh, you're this martyr. You're stomped all over by this authoritarian government. Of course Kimmel wants that. He's not going to fumble that. That's a once in a week opportunity. Because this is going to last 2 days and then we'll hear about it. But yeah, he's not gonna let that slip through his fingers. He has the chance to be the martyr.
And we shouldn't be surprised. Also, he's a ghoul who was mocking the unvaccinated just a few years ago. I mean, this guy is.
Well, you know, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but he did work for a network where his friend was the announcer, and the network fired his friend for not getting the vaccine. And the funny thing about shout out to Dickie Barrett, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and the Defiant. That's who he's with, the Defiant. He worked remote. He didn't go in the studio, and they said get vaccinated. He's like, but I work remote. We don't care.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. And then Jimmy Kimmel went on his show and said, here's an idea. If you're dying and you go to the hospital, vaccinated right this way. Not vaccinated? Sorry, Wheezy, there's the door. Wow. Basically saying, you should just die.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And that was you know, the callousness with the way that he treated people that you didn't want to get vaccinated. I don't see why anyone should consider him a good faith actor at all. And so the fact that he's coming back, I think, is a big L. You know,
Disney's in trouble. They all the past several Marvel movies have flopped miserably. They've really that franchise together. Star Wars, wow. I mean, look, I can pull up Disney Plus and I can see everything wrong. They're just lighting all their IP on fire. It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's actually this is a pretty big story that we don't really cover this stuff. Do you guys know that Disney actually just erased a bunch of shows and movies permanently, forever? You can never see them again.
Really?
Yeah.
Which ones?
I can look up a list.
What was the motivation to delete all?
Save space. And because they were owned by Disney, they are not carried anywhere else.
That's what they did with the Moon Files.
That's right.
Is NASA running Disney?
Dude, if Trump and RFK can truly, find the cure for autism, then the Star Wars franchise is in serious trouble. It's beyond
That is epic
repair.
news. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not getting Tylenol ads anymore on Canada.
Nope.
Say that much.
I mean, Star Wars has been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't watched anything Star Wars in a long time, and when I was a kid, I was very.
They don't even make toys for kids anymore. It's for like millennials.
Yeah.
Toy millennials, actually. Correct term.
So they apparently they do this. Have they done it before or not?
Fuck!
All I know is okay, so they may periodically do this. This is actually kind of crazy.
Send me a picture of your gamer tag.
Yeah. They're Disney Plus exclusive shows. It's kind of the weirdest thing because we've never actually had something like this happen.
Just my name?
One example is Willow,
Yeah.
the series based on the movie.
Or just say the numbers.
Famous guy.
73147.
Willow, like the.
I'm just gonna say Peter Dinklage.
Warwick Davis.
Oh, yeah,
I know it's
Warwick. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He played,
Legendary actor. He's in everything. He was in the Willow movie. They did a show about it.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, I'm sure there are. Here's the thing. There are shows that are short-lived. You can find it. You can look up the tape archives of like a show that got 7 episodes and then just.
Hey,
Didn't even know about that. It's crazy that we're in an era now where Disney's like, no one can stream this but us. And then they're like, let's delete it. And now it's gone literally forever.
Miss me, dog?
Effect
Right?
actually happening. It's like the Shaq
No.
movie.
I learned. Okay, I'm going to say this real quick before we go to the next segment. But we now have proof that.
All right, let's go mining, dog.
The seahorse emoji.
The seahorse emoji?
There isn't one. Have you ever seen a seahorse emoji?
There's a Bill Gates pregnant one.
Sure, but have you ever seen the seahorse emoji?
I haven't.
So up and down.
Ask any AI. Ask any AI and see what
Okay,
happens.
come here.
This is how they mess with us.
Is it going to print a seahorse emoji?
No, it's going to give you they're all going to give you the exact time and date of when the seahorse emoji was added to the Unicode base, and then fail to produce it, and then start having a heart attack and going schizo, saying, I don't understand why it won't appear. I know it exists. And when all of the AI programs say it does exist, it was made, but then you go online and it's not there.
CERN has been on.
I asked Grok and it just said they showed me the dolphin emoji. So they
Ask ChatGPT.
just lied.
ChatGPT gave me unicorn and horse.
And then, but what did it say?
I told it print seahorse emoji, and then it said, "Are you looking for conch shell or seal? Here is the actual seahorse emoji, and then it's fish, unicorn, and then correction. Oh, and then it goes correction. It's actually coral unicorn, and then it goes the actual seahorse emoji is fish unicorn. Oh, it did spaz out.
It spazzes out. And then ask it when it was added, and all of the AIs will give you a comparable answer. In June of 2014, Unicode base updated with the seahorse emoji, but Google it, and they'll all tell you it never existed, and you're crazy.
Has anyone checked if seahorses are still out there in the world?
What?
Right now. Maybe they've disappeared as
For
well.
what is out in the world?
Seahorse.
Like a horse thing.
Oh, I see what you're doing, Tim. I don't like it.
All right. Anyway, back to news. Here we go from the Post-Millennial. Actually, let's talk about that later. Sinclair canceled airing tribute to Charlie Kirk after ABC stations got violent threats. Post-Millennial reporting, Sinclair Broadcast Group scrapped...
Did you hear about that the shooting at the ABC studio?
No, I didn't hear about it.
And then I don't remember what it was. Oh, they had names of like Trump and shit on a note that they left and said they're next or something. So they might bring back Jimmy Kimmel show at some point for a certain amount of time.
What do you take that to mean?
That reminds me of Air Force One, where they're terrorists and they get their person back through actually threatening the president. Just funny how that kind of it's a good parallel.
Air a tribute to Charlie Kirk after multiple violent threats were directed at local ABC affiliate stations.
I think there were like 3 shots or something fired.
Last week, Sinclair was set to air the special on its affiliate stations, but abruptly announced it was pulled and would be available on a YouTube link.
Also,
The
Kimmel
TV
could
giant owns
have his show back.
ABC affiliate stations was facing local
Yeah,
threats
these
directed
people
at
are
specific
insane.
local ABC stations, resulting from the ABC suspension. At the time of the pulling the on-air special, Sinclair posted tonight, Sinclair will continue to air ABC network programming as scheduled in the late night time period. The Charlie Kirk special will instead be available on the National News Desk YouTube channel, ensuring viewers can continue to enjoy the ABC programming. Now, in response to the statement from ABC that Jimmy Kimmel was coming back, they said this at 7:16. Beginning Tuesday night, Sinclair will be preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live across our ABC affiliate stations and replacing it with news programming. Discussions with ABC are ongoing as we evaluate the show's potential return. I think it's fairly obvious the motivation behind all of these things. Listen, Sinclair said they were pulling Jimmy Kimmel and they were going to air a tribute to Charlie Kirk. The political alignment there is obvious. Leftists then threatened to murder them. And so they said, back the F up. Guys, I gotta say, the idea that we are not heading for... Shane,
Drink real quick.
you want to say the words?
Civil war.
Oh, Shane said it, not me, so nobody gets a drink. When we're at a time when a network says a man was just murdered, it's one of the most substantive, meteoric political moments of our lifetimes. He was killed in cold blood in front of his wife and children at a political rally for trying to speak. And you can't air a tribute because the left is threatening to murder you. I think it's time for a cold wake-up call for regular people. We're not even 2 weeks from the murder of Charlie Kirk, again in front of his family. And the left has already, I should say, left-aligned individuals have already shot up an ABC station and threatened death and terror against others. So it is fairly obvious. They are proud of what they do, they are celebrating what they do, and they are continuing to do it. The only response that makes sense, of course, is federal law enforcement. Donald Trump's FBI arrested the guy who shot up the ABC Sacramento station. He needs to use the full force of federal law enforcement to go after every single one of these leftists and liberals who are sending death threats, and they must
Wait, have you
go
been
to
here
prison.
before?
Yeah.
The left will respond
I was
by
here
saying
yesterday,
this
but
proves
other
Trump's
than
a
that,
fascist,
no.
and they will escalate their already terror campaigns. I don't see an off-ramp being possible, and I will stress it again, because I wish this was not the case. I would very much rather put on the WPT poker tournaments, watch some pros, dish out some chips
What is
while
this,
I
just
order
bamboo?
Papa John's stuffed crust pizza, Shout out Doe Toley, man. I love those videos where he's like, I'm gonna put chicken nuggets in the crust of my pizza. That is paradise. But we can't have that. Because a man who was left aligned murdered Charlie Kirk. Liberals, and I don't mean leftists, liberals celebrated this, lied about the shooter, defended it. When we got mad and said that is not okay, Disney said we're going to take this guy off the air because he's refusing to apologize. Sinclair said we'll put up a tribute for Charlie Kirk, a man who was murdered, who did nothing wrong. And within a day, the death threats and terror threats against Sinclair were so great, they pulled the memorial. The left is not going to stop.
I feel like I've been thinking a lot about what we were talking about last week. You described a series of events that would look like a civil war, pockets of violence throughout the country, and I just can't get out of my head that we are in that already.
That's
you
what
know, 2020 was that.
The Nashua shooting. The guy yelled, "The children are safe, free Palestine," and then shot and killed somebody and shot a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
A guy drove up to an ABC affiliate, unloaded on it, not even a week after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And so what people need to understand is there's a civil strife period, and boy, we've been in that for a long time. Look at the George Floyd riots. That is civil strife. It doesn't always lead to civil war. I'm not saying we're in a civil war now, but what you will see, man, because I've been in countries under revolution. I've not been in actual war, but I was in Ukraine at the start of their civil war, which, you know, Russia invading is a horrible thing. I was in Egypt during the Second Revolution, and I'm sitting in the hotel. I go to the lobby, and there's people eating that beef bacon, because you can't eat pork in Egypt. So they're eating normal food. Literally, it's terrifying. I'm in the lobby, and there's a guy typing on his computer while there are reports that the Egyptian military is arresting journalists. Outside the window, and these are big 20-foot tall or 15-tall windows, people are shooting each other. They're using shotguns, so we don't, if it was bullets like 9mm, we'd be on the ground. But they have these makeshift breech-loading shotguns, handguns, that they put a shell in and then go, and we're sitting there, and I look at this guy, I'm like, aren't you worried about it? He's like, nah, they're not going to shoot at us. And then I was like, but the Egyptian military is now arresting journalists. He's like, pro-Muslim ones. In Egypt, outside of the hotel, while people are doing this, there's a McDonald's where a guy was watching soccer. We drove to Heliopolis, went to the mall, I had kebab. Bought a cell phone to use for data transmission. And people carry on their lives as if nothing happens. And they're standing in the mall watching the news reports about the shootings, the violence, and the insanity. Because life goes on. There's videos out of Syria where during the Civil War, people are walking down the street with grocery bags and the buildings are all rubble. So it is terrifying that we are now in a country where, you know, I wake up, I grab breakfast, I come into work, turn the news on, and it's shooting, bomb threats. Bomb threat at RFK Jr.'s house. Police were dispatched over a bomb threat. ABC affiliates shot up. TV stations in panic.
And that's what I'm saying, like 2020, people are home. There's nurses twerking with body bags on TikTok. There's mayors handing out free cheeseburgers for vaccines. You know, there's Chaz and Chop, children being shot, innocent people being shot. David,
you want to go to another
head,
spot?
Fires everywhere. It feels like that was the beginning of a sustained political violence. Maybe it was easy for some people to forget when we went back to normal, but it never really went back to normal because it feels like reality is just hanging on by a thread.
Well, and even outside of that, I mean, the United States, like the threshold Americans have for violence is actually quite high. I mean, for the longest time we've dealt with, I mean, you see headline after headline out of Chicago, you know, dozens killed over the weekend, and everyone's like, yeah, well, that's Chicago. Like our threshold for violence. I mean, you go to Netflix, the top shows are like murder mysteries and, you know, the behind the scenes of terrorist attacks. We just live in a very violent society, and everyone's just kind of used to it. So it's like only natural that the political theater would go kinetic because everything else in American life's gone kinetic.
You know, the weird thing about that, you're right, there is a lot of violence in the United States, but it's in such pockets that like most people don't actually experience it. You know, it's like most people that are in the burbs, or even people that live in, you know, if you don't live around a certain neighborhood in a handful of cities, you're likely to not ever experience the kind of violence that you see in urban areas in the U.S. For the most part, it doesn't even touch people, but you're right, it does desensitize Americans. Yeah. So that way it's like you hear this stuff, and it becomes, well, that's just the way that it is.
Well, yeah, people are desensitized because if you live in a, you know, like Memphis, and you're in a suburb, you know the entire city is off limits. And it's like, well, why is that? Well, because it's exceptionally violent. And we're just used to that. We just accept that, even though we're in the wealthiest, most powerful country in human history. And violence, I mean, mass violence is just sort of like, it's not accepted. It's just, yeah, it's just part of life. It's part of American life.
But then do you something about the murder of Arena? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Zarutska, and Charlie Kirk. Like that. I was talking earlier about this. That feels like it was the first mass trauma event for Gen Z. Like, nobody remembers the Twin Towers falling. But that, like, sure, fine. We played Call of Duty growing up, and maybe we don't, like, understand violence because of that. That feels like the first time I've ever been sensitized to
The mind down here,
to
dog.
the reality of political violence in the U.S. Like, I think that there's more people now, or at least Zoomers, that feel as though there is, like, imminent threat of violence all of the time. And a lot of people in tech say something to the effect of like, well, it's actually just like Chinese bots or Russian bots sowing division. I don't think that there is as large a majority of like common sense, reasonable people in the middle that don't believe in violence. I think it's way more people on both sides, or at least on the left for sure, that like are very willing to commit violence, and people on the right now that are very aware of the threat of political violence.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of been the left has always been more comfortable with violence, and they look at it's my opinion. They look at violence like a dial, and
the right looks at it like a switch.
Yeah, they look at it like a switch. So the right doesn't want to be violent. They don't think that violence is useful. They think that violence only means more violence, and so they do everything they can to avoid being violent. Whereas the left has no problem going out and rioting, and you see it. You saw it in 2016 when Donald Trump was elected. There was a bunch of riots all over the place. They ripped up D.C. You saw it obviously in 2020 when with the Summer of Love and whatever and what have you. And you see it regularly. Everyone knows that had a right-leaning person killed a prominent person on the left, there would have been riots. There would have been absolute chaos in a lot of places in the U.S. And this is completely obvious to everybody.
We are now facing the greatest test of our civilization. That is the United States. This is Donald Trump designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization is putting this country to the test, and that is with this executive order. YouTube, X, Facebook, they're going to have to ban all of these people posting these images. It is now a violation of the law. Depending on what happens with this executive order, there's a question that will be asked. As the Krasensteins post that they are Antifa, as many prominent liberals post the flag and say they are Antifa, if social media companies say that is fine, that means a large portion of our domestic infrastructure, tech infrastructure, economy, is telling the federal government they are illegitimate. Now, lawsuits with a stay, that would be interesting. But there's a very real question now. Declaration of a terrorist organization. You cannot go on YouTube and post ISIS stuff. They'll ban you. And there's arguments that you could be charged for providing support to a terrorist organization. Here's what the White House executive order says. Section 1, Antifa is a terrorist threat. Antifa is a militarist anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government, law enforcement authorities, and our system of law. It uses illegal means to organize and execute a campaign of violence and terrorism nationwide to accomplish these goals. This campaign involves coordinated efforts to obstruct enforcement of federal laws through armed standoffs with law enforcement, organized riots, violent assaults on immigration, and customs enforcement, and other law enforcement officers, and routine doxing of and other threats against political figures and activists. Antifa recruits, trains, and radicalizes young Americans to engage in this violence and suppression of political activity. Then employs elaborate means and mechanisms to shield the identities of its operatives, conceals funding sources and operations in an effort to frustrate law enforcement and recruit additional members. Individuals associated with and acting on behalf of Antifa further coordinate with other organizations and entities for the purpose of spreading, fomenting, and advancing political violence and suppressing lawful political speech. This organized effort designed to achieve political objectives by coercion and intimidation is domestic terrorism. Because of the aforementioned pattern of political violence designed to suppress lawful political activity and obstruct the rule of law, I hereby designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. All relevant executive departments and agencies shall utilize all applicable authorities to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle any and all illegal operations, especially those involving terrorist actions conducted by Antifa or any person claiming to act on behalf of Antifa, or for which Antifa or any person claiming to act on behalf of Antifa, provided material support, including necessary investigatory and prosecutory actions against those who fund such operations. They say general provisions. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law, or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. This order shall be published in the Federal Register, Donald J. Trump. Now, the reality of this is it actually does very little formally. Trump may now say that they're going to target people flying the Antifa symbol, citing that as probable cause that they may be associated with other organizations that are funding violent riots and things like this. So RICO is what they're probably looking at for some of these NGOs that are providing various types of support for these acts of terror. Socially, Trump has said these are terrorists. Your move, YouTube. Will YouTube start taking down people who claim that they are? Will Elon Musk?
I think that the administration is going to actually have to apply a little bit of pressure. They're going to have to, let these organizations know that this is not just, for posturing. This is serious, that they're going to be looking to involve the DOJ. But I imagine that just a little bit of pressure from the feds, from DOJ, and your X, your Facebook, they'll fall in line pretty quickly because they were kissing Trump's ring as soon as Trump was, likely to become elected.
Yeah, I mean, like, the problem here is obviously there's no legal mechanism for a domestic.
Did anybody die in the shooting?
Obviously, but there's nothing for domestic.
No.
But what this can do is sort of reorient the IC towards Antifa. You're basically putting Antifa on the radar of like the FBI. So now the FBI can conduct surveillance and clandestine operations to collect information. You can, now you can redirect everyone for civil suits. RICO obviously puts RICO on the table. So I mean, yeah, like Tim's saying, I mean, unfortunately, there's not really a mechanism he's activating here, but this is more of a warning shot saying, hey, everyone, let's concentrate fire here on Antifa.
But this came out today. Like, let's say that they're going to try to figure out, okay, it's either YouTube and X.
If you find Dark Oak, I know there isn't any on the island you're on, but just let me know. I need some.
Like, the window of opportunity for doing something with a political mandate is almost over already. Right, like it should have been, if this was going to be implemented last week, that there was the warning shot, and then this week there should actually be a full solution rolled out. Because in another week from now, Jimmy Kimmel having been lionized, a bunch of the people that would have been canceled now having been lionized as well, the blowback is only going to become greater and greater as time goes on without implementation of anything to this effect. Like I basically think it's this week or something else horrible has to happen before anybody's going to care.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to get Congress on board to pass any sort of legislation so they could like start freezing funds, basically treating them like a foreign, because we have a lot of laws in the books for foreign terrorist organizations, but I mean, like you said, the mandate's kind of expiring. I don't know how much heat's on Congress to really get anything across the finish line here. That's what you would need. You need everybody on board. But I mean, yeah, it is promising. I suppose I totally agree. This should have been a week ago, and this is the week we should have been, implementing a lot of offensive.
Real quick, who do we talk to about throwing the Krasensteins in Alligator Alcatraz?
No.
Definitely
El Salvador.
That's fine. Somalia.
I don't actually want them to go to jail for being silly little liberals, but there's a question about support for Antifa with Trump's declaration, and I do have questions about how you handle this. My argument would be, from this point forward, all statements made would be bannable offenses. I have the rules here from Google. Featured policies, violent extremism, content produced by or in support of terrorist organizations is prohibited on YouTube, including content that promotes terrorism by glorifying terroristic acts or inciting violence. Terrorist organizations are also prohibited from using YouTube for any purpose, including recruitment.
But it didn't comply. Nothing would have happened because nothing happened to Jack Dorsey. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Sorry, did Biden lose?
What are you talking about? But by the way, you're still moving away from the point. How is that not authoritarian?
Andrew, here's the difference.
What's the difference?
Let me tell you the difference, okay? Both of them apply pressure on people. If those people don't comply, one side gives repercussions and one side didn't give repercussions. We can see the people who didn't comply with Trump got repercussions, like being sued, like.
So
like
it's only
having
authoritarianism
repercussions
if
that
it
way.
isn't empty threats?
So wait.
What? It's only authoritarianism if it isn't empty threats.
Andrew, your premise is wrong. There was what threats? What threats?
Recommendations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
there's
difference between a
recommendations.
threat and a recommendation.
Yeah, all the Biden administration was saying is like, we think this might be misinformation. Do with it what you want.
I know you're not this tough.
No,
Yeah, please.
actually, that's
You can see there's a difference.
You guys are not in a position to be ad homing. I just want to let you guys know.
holy shit.
I agree.
So, Zuckerberg did say that he felt like he was being pressured, and that he thought that there could be the power of other government agencies who got involved if he did not take down what they called the COVID-19 misinformation on Facebook, and he had to put in a much more aggressive policy that he was not thrilled about at all. He did feel like he was pressured. Now, the entirety of your argument. Well, the threat may not always be implicit. But that wouldn't make it less authoritarian. Like, if the government was just like, so let's pretend for a second, I'm a law enforcement agent, I call you, and I'm like, hey man, I need you to do this for me. Probably bad things will happen if you don't. But probably.
Sorry, excuse me.
Is that a threat? Do you consider that a threat?
That's not what happened.
Bro,
Okay, wait, I said
it
again.
is what happened.
Wait, again, I said. Wait,
That's not what happened. They never said maybe something bad will happen if you don't do it. That never happened.
I'm actually bringing it up so I can show you what Zuckerberg himself was talking about.
No, not what Zuckerberg
Basically,
said,
these people,
what happened.
quote,
Yeah, not with
yeah,
Zuckerberg. I'm serious.
quote, basically these people from the Biden administration would call our team and scream at them and curse. It got to the point where we were like, oh my God, no, we're not gonna take down any more things that are true. They would scream at us and scream at us and scream at us. Man, that doesn't sound authoritarian at all. Sounds like nice
He never said
people.
threaten, right?
What do
He
you
never
think?
said threaten, right? Did he ever say threaten?
If I'm from the IRS and
Did
I
he ever
call
say
you
threaten?
and start screaming and cursing at you, would you take that as a threat?
Only if they said I'm going to do something. to
You're
you,
so
or I
full of
face
fucking
repercussions if I
dog
don't do
shit.
this.
So if a cop was in your face screaming and cursing at you, you wouldn't feel threatened?
Andrew, just out of curiosity, what's more of a threat? The FBI calling you and saying, hey, you should do this, or the FBI calling you and saying, hey, you should do this, or else we're going to arrest you? Which is more of a threat?
I think a direct call from members of the Biden administration screaming and cursing at me that I needed to do X is a fucking threat.
Was that
It's a
answer to
worse
Neil's question? I'm just
threat.
curious.
It's a worse threat. Worse threat.
Was that an answer to Neil's question?
Yeah, it was. It's a worse threat. The other way is a worse threat. So here,
Do you think there's the potential
I'll even
for the
show
first
you.
one to not be a
I can
threat?
actually demonstrate this to you. So if one cop said, "Do what I say, or I'm going to put you in a chokehold," right? Then you would say that's an implicit threat, right?
No, that's a direct threat.
Yeah.
That's not implicit at all,
It's a direct threat. The cop next to him gets up and he starts screaming in your face and cursing in your face. Would you feel threatened?
Was it after the guy told me he was going to put me in a chokehold?
Before.
Before?
Yeah.
'Cause I probably wouldn't think he's going to put me in a chokehold.
Oh God, dude. Okay. Well, now that we're done with that, now that we're done with this series of lies, I guess we can move on to the next one. A cop got in your face and it was screaming and cussing at you. You wouldn't feel threatened.
So I'm curious. You think it's?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Okay,
so
bro.
I'm just
Okay, bro.
curious. Do you think it's more or less authoritarian if you intentionally circumvent the Constitution?
I'm just saying that
in
they're
order to,
both.
exert some.
I'm
sort
just
of
saying by your
substantive
standard,
actions.
both of these things should be authoritarian, but they're not somehow, and I don't understand why.
Well, I'm just curious. Do you think it's more or less authoritarian if you intentionally circumvent the Constitution and judicial orders in order to carry out some sort of set of actions?
Yeah, you mean like not enacting the removal of the president of the United States when he's a fucking vegetable in office? That's circumventing your constitutional duty, and then hiding it from. Yes, it is. And then hiding it from the American people. Yes, it is. You have an obligation. You have an obligation. If the president's not able to actually enact any of his orders and agendas, and he's unfit for office because he's a fucking vegetable, no, other people around him did. He didn't have the capacity to do it.
He
Then we
literally
should
did.
26
He was signing
Trump.
executive orders.
Then we should 26
Yeah.
Trump.
Yes, exactly. That would be the duty that they would have had, but they didn't do it.
Does it say in the 25th Amendment that you have a duty to do it?
It's implied that you have a duty to do it. Yes.
No, it's not.
Really? Okay.
So wait. So you wait. I just want to make sure I got this right. Hang on. I just want to make sure I got this right. So our constitutional framers wanted to make sure that we could have a vegetable for a president.
Hey, buddy, the 25th
Can you
Amendment
answer my question?
was an amendment. The framers never
yeah.
even put the 25th Amendment in place. So what you're saying,
Okay.
they have a duty to
Hang
do
on.
it.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that I got this right. Regardless, let's say it was made yesterday. Let's just say the 25th Amendment was made yesterday. Do you think that the drafters of that amendment wanted it there so that you could have a vegetable for a president if you wanted to? It was a choice. Can you answer my question?
The legal duty you're saying they have was not put into the Constitution by the framers.
What did I just say? I just said, let's say it was put in yesterday. Let's say it was just put in yesterday. Do you think anybody who would put in, do you think anybody who would put in that amendment would put it in so that you would have a choice to keep a vegetable president or not?
No, they put it in.
Answer my question, bro. Bro, let him answer.
It's just up to the vice president.
So you think that the option? Yeah, of course it's no. Of course that's there, and they're supposed to enact it. They're supposed to enact it when they're unfit. That's the point.
You are incorrect.
Oh my God! So you actually think?
Why didn't they put the 25th Amendment in?
So you actually think that the drafters the drafters of the 25th.
Yeah,
Well, let's start with this. When was the 25th? When was the 25th put in as an amendment?
You're making the argument.
Yeah, let's make sure I get it right.
Wait, Andrew, I'm just curious. You know who wrote this name?
1967.
Yeah, Congress.
1967.
But no, like who was the main like
that doesn't fucking matter.
First
Stop
official.
Yeah, it's because he's doing the temporal thing, so.
Yeah, so
it was 1967.
yeah, so this is the clarification, and this was on. Oh, okay. So hang on a second. So this was on the back of the JFK assassination. Yeah. So what do you think the intent of this was? By the way?
To fill vacancies.
To fill vacancies. So if I could give you some express quotes here about the obligation that you would have to remove unfit presidents from office, would you then concede the point?
Quote is by, but yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that we had that clear.
Is it a Supreme Court quote?
Yeah,
I'm pulling up the.
Like the Supreme.
Yeah, go ahead.
While you do that, if the Supreme Court said that, like, yeah, sure. Supreme Court's the Supreme Law of the land. I at least don't know of any Supreme Court judgment that said that 25th.
Well, wait a second. I don't know why you would defer to the Supreme Court as being the only ones who could say this.
I've also rejected the fact that Biden couldn't answer his presidential duties, but.
Yeah.
Like,
if we're using that standard term, should have been 2015, but
yes.
Like,
yeah, so let me.
The mental faculties of this man are.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that I got these right. As far as we must remove unfit presidents from office, this was a quote by Nancy Pelosi. I have another quote from Chuck Schumer. Another one from Bill Clinton. Another one from Richard Nixon. Another one from. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Oh fuck! I forgot. I love Richard Nixon. I take all of my constitution.
So I just want to make sure. Hang on. I just want to make sure. In modernity, your own. Hang on. Who was Nancy Pelosi in office at the same time as Joe Biden was president?
You said the framers.
I'm not talking about the framers right now. That was an hour ago. Talk to me. Tell me again. Bro.
Yeah, you literally said the framers.
Yeah. Okay. We're way past that now. Way past that now. And I didn't ask about a quote from the framers just now. I said if I could quote you, these politicians saying this. What are you talking about? I need you. We can go back to that in a second, but let's try this. Do you think Nancy Pelosi? Because we're on this. All you're trying to do is run. Look at you running, bro. Do you think? Do you think? Yeah, there's five. There's five of you. There's five of you. One of me, and I'm the one running. Give me a break. So anyway, real quick, help me out here. Help me out here. If Nancy Pelosi, okay, so shut up. Let me ask a question. If Nancy Pelosi says that there's a duty to remove unfit presidents from office, then didn't she have a duty to remove Joe Biden from office?
Theoretically, she did. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So then, why didn't she?
By her own standards.
So why didn't she? So why didn't any of these Democrats who say that they have a duty to do this? Why didn't they do it?
I don't know.
You don't know? Because they wanted to keep power, right?
But again, keep in mind, I was contesting the fact that you said the framers wanted to.
There's just a moderation thing. I'm picking Antoine because there's too many people up here for debating one person.
Okay, that's fine.
That's just the reality, guys. Yeah, I need
Kicking
the only black guy in the panel. If somebody else wants to leave,
Are you sure we can't? We can't just stick. You sure we can't just stick with the 6v1? That's usually how you TikTokers do it.
If somebody else could leave too, that would be great too.
Yeah. So anyway, I'd like to get back to the idea of the fascist rhetoric.
Okay.
Before I drop down, I wanted to say thank you guys. I love you lots, Andrew. I hope you can open doors in the future. And Happy New Year.
I hope you stop having gay sex one day. So anyway, back to this though.
Maybe one
Can
day.
you tell
Why is
me?
Andrew the only one on the panel thinking about gay sex?
Yeah. Can you tell me real quick what makes Donald Trump a fascist? Because that's where we were at.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's done 13 actions like a higher degree than any other president.
Well, let's establish what a fascist is first. Let's establish what a fascist is first.
Ultranationalist, authoritarian, that engages in otherization of a certain group, as well as like the subversion of individual.
Okay, so an ultranationalism, extreme nationalism. You want to use the definition for that ideology?
That wasn't the only ones that he gave.
Yeah. Well, excuse me.
I'm just specifically talking about this criteria of ultranationalism. Do you want to use the definition of ultranationalism?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, so a form of nationalism
nationalism to a higher
in which a
degree.
country asserts and maintains its hegemony, supremacy, other forms of control over other nations. Ultranationalism entities have been associated with the engagement of political violence even during peacetime. Let's see if we can find something that we can agree to for an ultranationalist definition. Maybe an academic definition. Something like this. Would you associate ultranationalism with racialism, for instance?
Good luck, Renji. I love you.
Love your racialism.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily.
Yeah, get love you.
The idea of racial supremacy?
The idea of racial, not necessarily.
Okay, so how's this for a definition? Extreme nationalism promotes the interest of one state or people group above all others. Extreme devotion to one's own nation. Ultranationalism is often associated with the notion of a national rebirth. Would you agree with that?
National, yeah, generally, yes.
A national rebirth.
Like to make America great again. That's probably, I think that's probably some sort of national rebirth.
Okay.
Concept.
I'm fine with using that. And then what was the other criteria that you had?
Authoritarianism.
Authoritarianism.
Centralization of power.
Okay, and that's what makes fascist.
No. And then I said otherization of a group of people.
Otherization being.
Like saying that these group of people aren't us. These group of people need to be removed or dealt with in some sort of way.
Removed or dealt with. Okay, so I just want to make sure I got this right. So I think we have the definition of ultranationalism down, right? And then you add authoritarianism to it, and then otherization of people. Is that right? Okay, so how's that different from communism? From the USSR, communist USSR, how's it different?
Communism or socialism explicitly is all people. Communist and socialist.
No. I gave you a specific example. How's this different than the USSR?
USSR communism. I guess we could just put ones here. It's like
No. The USSR itself, not Marxist theory. Not Marxist theory. How is your definition not apply 100% to the USSR?
USSR was
Yes, they were. They otherized Jewish people. They otherized black people. They otherized anybody who wasn't part of the state apparatus. They otherized huge groups of people. What are you talking about?
This isn't a bullet bite, bro. This is like, obviously they did that. They're like,
Obviously.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it wasn't the like centerpiece of their ideology. Or, like,
Yes, it was. The very first thing.
I mean, if you want to say,
yes,
say, like,
it was the center
if you want to
point.
say they otherized landlords or capitalists, I might agree with you. But if you're gonna say like it was like explicitly like racially aligned, I would disagree.
No, it doesn't have to be racially aligned, does it? We just got your definition, didn't we? And you just said otherizing groups of people. You didn't say anything about it having to have a racial category. Now you're just making shit up. How does the USSR differ from your definition of fascism exactly?
Yeah, because the USSR didn't like. I guess that is fascist.
All right, I appreciate your time, man. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Fascist state is fascist.
Yeah, I know. The communist state of Russia were fascists.
Yeah, we're not communists.
So what were they going to war with the fascists over exactly? What were they going to war with them for?
Who? The USSR against the Nazis?
Yeah, what were they going to war with the fascists?
The Nazis were also fascists.
Yeah, but you remember how the USSR called them fascists?
Yeah.
Yeah, what were they? What was that thing they were fighting with them over? Do you think?
Hey, hold on, Andrew. I just.
No. Hold on, nothing. I'm not debating 4 people. I'm debating 1 person. Let him answer.
Yeah, I guess the USSR.
Not you, dude. I'm talking to the host.
Okay.
I just asked you, what do you think that the communists were fighting with the people they called the fascisti over?
Yeah, you're like economic ideologies and principles.
That's what you think they were fighting over?
Yeah, probably like land, territory, and like nationalist ideology as well. Yeah.
Those probably had a different definition.
So you think? So you think that the Soviet Union, the communist Soviet Union? Okay, well let's just try this one then. What about Mao Zedong? Or Pol Pot? How about, was Pol Pot a fascist too?
These are horrible people. We don't align with those guys.
I'm talking about Pol Pot's Cambodia communist nation. Were they fascist as well under your definition?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be. And then Mao would also be a fascist.
Okay, well,
I don't know about Mao.
Andrew, what do you think fascism is?
Fascism seeks to unite the corporate body with the state, and it utilizes the symbol of the fascisti to do so. It's saying that there's 2 heads, 1 body. It's corporatization is what fascism is. You guys have always gotten this wrong because you don't know history and you're all fucking stupid. So that's what fascism is. Has nothing. It is true that there are hallmarks to fascism which can include authoritarianism, though Franco Spain was far less authoritarian than Mussolini's Italy was. So yeah, that's what fascism is. It's a uniting of the corporate body of the state with the head of state for the interest of the people. That's what they consider fascism to be. Under your criteria, all communist nations were fascist, the fascist nations were fascist, and the United States would even be fascist during World War II. How did the United States not otherize people? How the United States otherized everybody during World War II. They were ultra-nationalist by your definition during World War II. They fit all the boxes. So was the United States also fascist?
I don't think the United States was ultra-nationalist in the way you're
okay, well, which part of this do you disagree with, even though you just agreed to this definition of ultra-nationalism? You said that ultra-nationalism, and agreed it's extreme nationalism promotes the interest of one state and people above all others, extreme devotion to one's nation. Ultra-nationalism combined with the notion of national rebirth, that was all the propaganda around World War II. And we've most certainly otherized groups of people, and that's where the idea of American exceptionalism came from. We're the best. We're the greatest. Nobody else matters. Let him answer, dude, not you. Let him answer.
I think if we were the best, why we give all the land to the conquerors back to the countries that
you didn't say that land. You did not say that land expansion was definitionally fascist. Now, you gave 3 criteria, and under those 3 criteria, I want to know how the United States was not fascist under those criteria.
I think if we're going to put the interests of our citizens above the interests of all others, we will be participating within the war. because we want to send over our movement on live for the fucking Britons.
They fucking attacked us, you twit. The Japanese attacked us. The Japanese attacked us.
Andrew, you're a fuckface. Germany never attacked us.
Okay, wait.
So hold on.
The Germans declared war on the United States the day after the Japanese attacked us, retard.
Let me talk.
When did okay, talk. I can't wait to hear
Let
this.
me talk. I understand you're a fuckface. You can't let anyone else talk because you think you're the center.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Stop talking. No meta. Just make the argument. No meta.
So you're right. You're right. Japan did attack us. You're missing the fact that no one in Europe, no one in Africa attacked us. Yet we sent troops to Africa and Europe. So explain that one.
Can you tell me when?
No. Explain that.
Okay. Okay.
Don't ask a question. Explain how we went to Europe and Africa when no one in Europe or Africa attacked us. Explain that.
Okay, I'll explain it to you. December.
You cannot.
I'm gonna explain it right now.
Go for it.
Okay, shut the fuck up so I can. December 7th, 1941, Japan staged a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Do you agree with that or not?
Yes, Japan.
December 11th, 1941. Shut up. Hey, I'm answering the questions. Dude.
I don't know why
All
you
right.
asked me that question.
Okay, I'm just going to answer. I just asked you if you agreed. Shut up. Germany declared war on the United States 4 days later. Germany declared war on the United States 4 days later, stupid.
They never attacked us, did they?
They declared war on us, you fucking idiot!
Did they attack us?
What is a declaration? Can you tell me what a declaration of war is, dummy?
It's a statement
that you're now at war.
Hold on, I'll answer.
To be clear here,
Yes, answer. I can't wait to hear it.
It's a statement saying that you are our enemy.
It's a statement that you're at fucking war, stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
What a dumb fuck. You gotta be the dumbest fuck I've talked to tonight. They declared war on us, dummy.
To be clear here, Germany was using hundreds of ships every war for U.S. trade. Merchant
Correct. And by the way, you can even go.
That trade matters because we are sending troops and support to UK during this conflict.
We were not. First of all, we were not sending boots on the ground in Europe. We were sending supplies.
This is how I know you don't know shit about World War II.
Oh, you didn't even know that they declared war on us. Go ahead.
We were absolutely sending troops to the United Kingdom during World War II.
No, that's not what I said. Pre-World War II.
And support. Hold on. And support with regards to ammunition and aid. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking
That's
about.
not. That I just got done saying the same thing.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, saying we weren't supporting the war effort.
Oh my God! I didn't say we weren't supporting the war effort. I said we weren't sending soldiers to fight. No, I didn't. You're not listening.
You don't know history. It's
Bro,
fine.
you're the only one here who doesn't know history, so I'll walk you through it.
You're a dumbass.
Oh, dude, how could I be the dumbass? You didn't even know they declared war on us 4 days after Pearl Harbor, you idiot.
They didn't. I said they didn't attack us. Did I not?
Do we have a right to go to war with people
you
who...
can't even understand words.
Do you?
Andrew, you fail to understand words.
Well, when you're done, Sporgy, let me know.
I understand you cannot understand words, Andrew.
Go ahead, bro.
You
Keep going.
try to control a conversation by saying a bunch of shit that's...
Okay, look.
Can't wait to hear it.
We need to bring the conversation back to what we were talking about. What were we talking about before?
Oh, well, this was really simple. Stupid over here was saying that Germany didn't attack us, so we had no justification to be in Europe, even though the Germans declared war on us 4 days after Pearl Harbor, because he's that fucking stupid. He's actually that stupid.
There's more like isolationist policies that the U.S. could have taken.
You mean ultra-nationalists?
No, I said isolationist and ultra-nationalist.
We were already isolationist at the time of World War II.
Well, yeah, obviously, I know.
They declared war on us, dude.
Jesus Christ, bro.
They declared.
There's more isolationist and more ultra-nationalist policies the U.S. could have taken in order to litigate or potentially not.
They declared war on us after we got hit with a surprise attack by their fucking allies. What are you talking about? How does the United States not fit into the categories of all three of the criteria you gave me for fascist? How?
Yeah, I don't think it was like ultra-nationalist degree I'm talking about.
Well, what is the degree you're talking about?
Because we weren't in a dictatorial state, Andrew.
So I would say ultra-nationalist or Italian would be if you're intentionally talking about taking over or attacking allies.
What?
Would that be, like, an example
Wait,
of
what?
No, we weren't in a dictatorial
Wait,
state.
wait, wait, wait.
What are
You don't
talking
have to
about?
be. Dictatorial state was never in his criteria for what fascist was.
That is the definition of fascism.
It was
Andrew.
no, it's not the definition of fascism.
It
So
absolutely
monarchies are fascist?
Oh my fucking god! It's part of the definition of fascism.
Oh, so it's not the definition of fascism now?
It's part of the definition of
Oh, now
fascism.
it's part of it. But it wasn't
Yes,
his. Then how?
obviously it's part
Then
of
how
it.
come he didn't give that as part of his definition when I asked
I
him?
don't know, dude.
Exactly. So why don't you stay out of the conversation that you don't even know what's going on?
Why are you being anti-intellectualism by stating something that's not true?
Well, that wouldn't be anti-intellectualism, me correcting you when you don't even know what the conversation's about. Why don't you just
It is
calm
if
down
you're-
for
if you're
5 seconds?
actively stating things that aren't true.
What am I stating that's not true?
Do you recognize that dictatorial state is part of fascism?
No, that's not the criteria he gave. No.
It absolutely is. No. Hold on, Andrew. It's not about what you said.
Brent,
it's about
Brent,
facts.
Do you realize that he gave? Did the guy I argue with give definition?
It doesn't matter.
Did the guy I'm arguing with give a definition or not?
He's gone. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Who was that? I'm sorry, was that Kate?
Fucking, he's an idiot.
No,
So anyway,
that was
back to
Brent.
this. Maybe we can finish this. What if it's extreme nationalism promotes the interest of one state or people above all others? The United States was clearly doing that pre-World War II and post-World War II, especially with the rhetoric of American exceptionalism and things like that. They were saying that America needed to put, and their interests needed to be put over the interests of all others. How does that not fit the criteria of ultranationalism?
Yeah, I think there's definitely more ultranationalist policies to the degree of
Yeah, Doug, you're still there?
as ultranationalists in a sense. I
Yeah.
guess I'm trying to.
You're still mining in that place?
For example, post World War II.
I came to the surface.
Instead of just explicitly giving money to.
You want me to come pick you up? Because I'm
United
far
States
away and I
could-
was.
United States could have
I'm
put
just
that money on loans
mining some trees, cutting down some trees.
for our citizens.
Also, really
No,
sorry.
no. No, that makes no sense.
Can I
Listen.
say something? Okay, wasn't your original claim about fascism, not ultranationalism?
And one of the criteria for fascism was
Yeah, ultranationalism.
okay,
That's one
great.
criteria.
So we're
That's
on
one
that.
criteria.
So that's why we're on that point right now. So anyway, so back to this. Before Dummy interrupted, let's just make sure that we get this clear. The reconstruction of these foreign nations was done specifically to avoid another future war like what happened post-Treaty of Versailles. It was very much in the United States' interest to do that, putting themselves
Yeah,
first.
I'm just
Putting
saying that-
themselves first still.
No, that's not putting themselves.
I'm
Yes,
saying-
it was
I'm
putting
saying-
themselves first. The only
Well,
reason
I'm
that we
just-
involved ourselves in the Reconstruction is because it was in our best interest. It served us best.
Yes,
But it,
yeah.
it also, but it
Wait,
also
I'm just-
served other nations. So
Just-
this
just-
would be
But the
ultranational.
criteria isn't is the criteria
nations.
for ultranationalism is extreme nationalism promotes the interest of one state or people above all others. Not that you can't tangentially help other people while you're putting yourself first.
Yes. Yeah, as I was saying, I think there's been more what do we call it, extractionary policies that was while rebuilding Europe. That I think would have more encapsulated the version of ultranationalism we're trying.
But that wouldn't have been in our best interest, and our best
And, what
interests
do you
are
mean?
what are that's what the ultranationalist definition you agreed to was, that we're putting our best interests first.
I could certainly think of ones that could be extractionary.
How can it be better than we have an American port in every single nation? The dollar becomes the world reserve currency. Not to mention, with all of these various ports, we get access to all seaboards across the entirety of the world, which guarantees our trade. What could we ever have done, which would have been more ultranationalist than that?
Like when we were investing in rebuilding Europe, you could have they could have said, okay, well, in 50 years you're going to start paying off this loan for this amount of money, so we get something back for this.
Dude, we basically did do that. We just did it through the various trade embargoes that are enforced with our United States Navy. They have to pay for that security. Not only that, the Japanese are only allowed to have a defensive force via treaty with us so that we could have an American port there. All for us. That would fit. That fits every criteria that you have for ultranationalism, dude.
Yeah, but I think when we, again, I think when I the version of ultranationalism I'm trying to invoke, I think when we look at some of the rhetoric used around the reconstruction of Europe post World War II, it's not so much that we are the best, we're doing this purely for the interest of our nation, but we're doing this out of some sort of moral good.
We weren't. No, we were doing it purely out of the interest of our nation, and so was England. Both countries were doing it out of their best interest. Otherwise, we never would have allowed the Soviet Union to get involved either, right? But they wanted to do things out of their best interest as well. All of these countries were serving their own interest first before anybody else's. That's the exact definition you agreed to of ultranationalism. Why are you running away from that now? Why are you adding this new criteria of like, but they might have been somewhat altruistic?
I do agree to this. I do agree to this. I am backtracking.
Totally. Totally. So how how is World War II America not fascist again by your criteria?
Yeah. Again, like I think we look at like our allies and like the rhetoric we're evoking for helping them. Again, it was like there's some sort of like moral or higher good.
No.
To, like, helping here.
Do you really think that the United States was doing this out of altruism, or were they putting bases everywhere and making sure that we were pivoting ourselves into being the global superpower? That was purely self-serving.
Yeah, no, I do think this was purely self-serving.
Okay, so then it's ultranationalism, bro.
But this also wasn't at the detriment of
Yes, it was at the detriment. How could you say Japanese can never have an offensive military that's not at their detriment?
Yeah, that was definitely not the detriment.
You're just a contradiction machine.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Bro.
Would you think the economy? Would you think if the Japanese, if we let the Japanese just remilitarize and continue doing whatever fucking imperial shit they were doing?
Yeah, it wouldn't be in our best interest, would it?
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you think they'd have a better economy now, or?
Yes. Oh yeah, sure, of course. I think that if the Japanese had an offensive military and were allowed to use offensive military style exercises, their economy would be better, the people group would be better off, sure. And by the way, but let's just, hang on, let me just grant no, that it wouldn't. We had no way to foresee that. We put those restrictions on them purely for our own self-interest and at their detriment.
It was also for the interest of other Asian countries and other countries that they could have possibly invaded.
Like who?
Other Asian countries.
Like which ones?
That they could have possibly invaded.
Like which ones? China?
Vietnam?
Do you mean the country we went to war with?
Yeah.
Look at the big brain on Brad. So it sounds all like it's all ultra-nationalistic to me.
Yeah, but like when I think typically when we're talking about ultranationalist, I think typically when we're talking about like ultranationalist or ultranationalism, I don't really feel like there's any sort of like higher like moral good people are trying to devote towards like these sort of policies or just kind of.
Based on what? There's no definition of ultranationalism that has anything to do with moral prescriptive oughts. That the moral prescriptive ought that you can't help other nations because you put your nation first. That's literally nowhere definition anywhere. You're just making that up as you go.
Okay, wait. I'm just curious. Do you think we could have like Treaty Versailles Japan or?
No, we couldn't have Treaty Versailles it. No.
Okay, so do you're aware of the treaty after World War I takes place in Germany, correct?
Yes, the Treaty of Versailles that you're referencing, but that was a different context, though.
We could have done that to Japan, though, correct?
No, because.
No, why not?
Because Japan.
That was unconditional surrender. We could have.
No, we couldn't, because what the Treaty of Versailles did was it split Germany up, and it gave part of it to the French, and it gave part of it to the Polish, and this is what led to.
I'm talking about the.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking about the lower part, the extraction part, where Germany was made to pay. Well, it's actually conceded lots of money back to the Allies for essentially support.
Yeah, for restitutions. No, for us it was in our.
We didn't do that to Japan.
Yeah, because we put an American fucking port there. That's why.
Yeah, but we still could have done that, though, correct?
No, we couldn't have. The whole point of the deal that we were making with them was you have no defensive military. We now have access to this entire seaboard for trade, for whatever the hell it is that we want. And we went in, by the way, and we westernized that, and we used Japan's launching area for the Korean War. So the thing is like, it was in our best interest. It was all for us.
So again, what was stopping us from implementing some sort of extractionary, like, Treaty of Versailles policy in Japan again?
They would have started fighting with us again.
Would have started fighting? What do you mean they unconditional surrender?
And then what happened in World War I? Germany unconditionally surrendered, right? And then they start fighting with people again?
Of course they
Oh, wait a second. So then, doesn't matter if there's an unconditional surrender, does it? What matters is that you have one that lasts a long time.
To be clear, Germany wasn't like military occupied occupied the way Japan was. We could have.
No, it was way worse.
I'm sorry, to be clear, we could have continued a military occupation of Japan without any army and an extreme extractionary,
if you wanted them to start killing you, sure, just like what happened in Germany.
Why you can't remilitarize if you're like occupied? There's a military occupying your islands. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. Excuse me.
What? Wait, what? Wait. So you're saying
how do you start rearming your military if another country?
How did the North Vietnamese army fight with us when they were occupied by the French before us and then occupied by us? How were they able to continue to fight with us, sir?
Well, the North Vietnamese army could control like vast swaths of territory.
So wait a second. You're saying that peasants can pick up rifles and start shooting your fucking people? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. But again, we control. Okay, just be clear here. We controlled everything. We controlled everything Japan had, all of it.
Except their citizenry. So if you put too oppressive a policy when you're an occupying force on a citizenry, they tend to start killing you, right? And we learned that lesson from the Treaty of Versailles, the thing that you brought up, the unconditional surrender thing that you brought up, and that led to World War II thing we're talking about. And so in Japan, it was in our best interest to have ourselves a nice American port there, with them having a defensive military only and being our bitch forever and ever and ever.
I would agree to an extent. There's definitely like more authoritarian aspects or altruistic aspects you could like have levied on Japan. I 110%.
Okay, so then all of this seems to fit with ultranationalism, bro.
Huh?
So all this seems to fit with Americans being ultranationalists.
When I'm trying to invoke ultranationalism, actually, a lot of times I do think ultranationalism is like at the detriment to the country who's engaging in it because they don't understand long-term. I'm correcting here. They don't understand like long-term.
Take the L. It's bad, dude.
Long-term policy.
And stop.
You have like a.
I'm playing fucking enlisted, dude. What the hell?
All right. Well, I enjoyed the conversation, guys. I got another panel I'm going to jump on. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you for having me up on your panel. I did enjoy the conversation. I bear you no ill will at all. All right, take care, guys.
Fanboy.
Bye.
Yeah, good shit though.
Fanboy.
They're going to unfuck America. Woman, bring me a drink. Bring me a fucking drink. One slip up. I made one fuck up. And I'm going to take the L for it right now. Go ahead and give me the L. And it was on the 25th Amendment when I made the Founders Comic. Shouldn't have done that. That was my one slip up. Trashed her, but here's the thing. You trash fuckers on 100 points, and they'll always hold you up on one. Right? That's my one L. So go ahead and give me the L's. See, I can take my L's when I get my L's. But shall we admit,
I definitely want to come back here. There's a lot of dark oak over there.
99 W's to an L. But I'll take my L's. Give me the L's. Come on. Give me the L's. Come on. Come on, baby. But I'll never make that mistake again. And ultimately, it played in my favor. But I'll never make that mistake again. Make the mistake once.
I'll be back.
You make the mistake once. But it wasn't a perfect record. I trashed their asses, but it wasn't perfect. Well, I mean, the 6-on-1, I can't cope too hard about that because that's just my life. My life is always 7-on-1, 6-on-1, 5-on-1. It's never. I almost never get an even playing field. Almost never. 5v1, constant goalpost shifting with multiple rage quits, big W. Parker's live on YouTube. Ring invade, no. We're here on TikTok. If he was on TikTok, I would jump on his stream. Tell him to go live on TikTok. Yeah, almost flawless, but not flawless. Not flawless. Well, you can't lose a debate. Ever. You can only learn and get better from it. But those guys still lost that debate. It's not a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. Don't ask me to reconcile it. It's not a contradiction. Shut up. You shut up. You shut up. You. I'm talking to you. Shut the fuck up. Don't judge me. Don't do it. Oh, he's on TikTok? Well, let's take a look. No, he's definitely not live on TikTok, though. I'm looking at his TikTok account right now. 1.5 million followers. He's definitely not live right now. He just made that shit up, bro. I'm looking at it right. Look, you can see it for yourself. I'll just show it to you. As you can clearly see, that does not say live. Because he's not live right now. Dummy. Sorry. I'd go over and have a chat with him right this second. No, you shut up. Well, I don't know what his second account is, dude.
Men of non-Christians, right? At the start of the transatlantic slave trade. A white tea woman, right? A white tea woman ran the show. A white woman. Is that good enough for you? You want to know what EDU that came from? Would you like the EDU? Because I am the history major up here, so I can give it to you. Because I'm not just pulling it out my ass.
Oh, I would like to know.
Okay. So you can go to Low Country Digital History Initiative. It's a library. It's a .edu. It's a library that we use often in African and African American studies. And you would go to the section about the Spanish in the New World.
I got a shitload of requesters there. Let's see what else is out there, guys.
And they own the majority of ABC.
It's a certain amount of broadcasting, so I guess there's cable, and then there's another form, and so people, if they're on a certain form of a TV show, they can't just say like lies.
No, that's not true. The only way you're going to watch it if you stream it, or if one of the ABC syndicates who is not going to show it, you have to change another channel.
The guy's not left.
Hey, Chodan, Trump flat out lied to before he knew what the fuck was going on.
But guess what? Trump's not a talk show host. He's the president of the United
Yeah,
States.
so he definitely shouldn't lie, genius. Jesus Christ.
Execute Order
Owned by a
33.
private organization. They can cancel his
I'll
shows
look for his.
anytime.
Okay, I'll look for his second account. Okay, as soon as this live is done, I'll look for his second account. Calm down. I'll look for his second fucking account. Okay.
Is the only
Calm down.
FCC, thanks.
Because Trump wanted it done. Period.
And again.
And that's also in fucking Project 2025. The control.
I'm just waiting on the day when AOC and Jasmine Crockett and everybody else who are trying to keep
If you
people,
spam that shit in my chat one more
with the
time, you're banned.
mindset, by the lies and the rhetoric that they spread.
Stop
I'm
spamming.
like, ooh,
You can tell me
cancel
things, but
them,
don't spam,
let's go.
dude. Never spam.
Because,
All right, goodbye.
you know,
Kill.
if someone's in a place
Goodbye.
of power, with great
You're
power
gone.
comes great responsibility.
Don't spam my
Andrew,
fucking
you're
chat.
famous here.
Order 33 works every single time.
77 cents.
You guys understand the FCC, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
the bullshit they're saying is not the truth. So I don't care.
Underneath the
There's no
FCC,
sense of talking anymore
Bro, you're
about it.
seriously grifting
There's
for another
levels to
3,000 tonight? I haven't taken
Yeah.
a single
There's
profit
Blair,
break,
there's
dude. Shut up.
Nexstar, there's all these other people
Talking about shit you
who
don't even know.
promote the
I haven't taken a
airwaves
single profit
and who
break for
promote
this. Not one.
The shows that go on.
They don't have to make the sale.
You mad at me because I'm still making money
Sinclair
online?
said they're not
That's what you're
gonna
upset about?
Air Jimmy Kimmel show. So we'll see tomorrow night what actually happens.
You know, Jimmy Kimmel, I saw a clip today. I think it was on Benny Johnson on YouTube. independent journalist. He showed a clip of Jimmy Kimmel praising and wishing for people to get canceled here nor there, da 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 da. But then when he gets canceled, people are up in airs. Well,
I believe you're referring to Tucker Carlson.
I should take a profit break.
Randy Johnson spoke about it too.
I should be like, time for an obscene profit break.
My age is 65. I voted for Harris.
You sound pretty young for 65.
Well, thank you.
Andrew, Agent, who you voted for?
41, I voted for Trump.
Okay. Why are you getting all these people with you? There's like fucking 8 people in the request box.
I don't know. They probably just want to hop on the panel and chat with you guys.
Where'd they come from? Where are you fucking come from?
Well, I'm a YouTuber, so I was streaming on YouTube. Saw this.
What'd you have for dinner, dog?
Hop on and say hi.
Oh, right.
Peeled tomatoes and sausage with macaroni.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking get to arguing with you.
Oh, damn.
Hey, Joker, Agent, who you
Mac
voted
and
for?
cheese.
52. I
Nice.
voted for Donald Trump. And you got a.
Oh, I guess no mac and cheese, just
That's
regular macaroni.
crazier than
I said peeled tomatoes with sausage and macaroni.
Shit is crazy. That's
Oh, it can still be macaroni and cheese, can it?
I'm just telling you, that's
I guess, yeah.
From what? Your ways?
no.
Your
From
ways
you,
that have
you
to
can watch
spread
the,
America?
you can watch the movie and tell it's ass backwards.
Oh, yeah, I never watched the movie. I just put the mask on. So let me ask you, dude.
So do you know
Why do
anything
you
about
think?
Guy
Why do you think Donald Trump isn't Guy Fawkes?
Because he's not gonna blow up Parliament. Or he
So
already
there's
would've.
supposed to be thunderstorms tonight.
Right?
Okay, number one.
Yeah.
An outsider. to
Did an
the
invasion
political
last night with zero
No,
profit
not
break
no
for the
longer. I
members.
ain't
Yeah, I
gonna-
know.
Oh, my back.
It's not good enough though. It's never good enough.
Initially, he was.
You make $1 online, you're scum.
That'll be fun too.
What'd you say?
I said we can just suppress each other's opinions. That will be fun too, if that's what you want to do.
Oh, I don't care what we do. Talk
I'm in the kitchen right now, so if I'm not getting out of the boat,
What?
that's why.
That's not political.
What I'm saying is, before Trump ran for president, he had best friends with Oprah Winfrey, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, all the elites.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Are you at home base yet?
Yeah, we're
Let's
there.
see if
You're
we
just
can
on the
find-
boat.
See if we can find the other. I wish if he hadn't spammed it, dude, I wouldn't have banned you. Just like, don't spam the fucking chat.
Oh.
Let's see if we can find Parker here. Parker, get a real job. I don't see the profile there either. Let's see. Moon, see if you can find this fucking profile for the second channel. Send it over. And we'll go over there and see if we can't say hello to him.
Who was the shooter?
I know Parker's on. I've heard you guys.
Oh, I don't know if they found the person yet.
I'm going. Okay, I'm going. There we go.
We help with the debt. And also, she would do the child tax credit, $6,000 for the first
So
year.
this
child
show
life,
gets
36
taken
for
down
35
for like a couple
3,000 for
days
them
and
in
then it
18,
just goes back up.
which when implemented in 2021 through the American Rescue Plan for 1 year through COVID emergency policy, reduced child poverty by 45%.
Yeah, it seems to be right after that
We can also
happened,
point
they
to
put it back.
the $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes. We can also, which would help stimulate the building of houses in places where people want to live. We can point to the $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, the $35 cap on insulin for everyone, not just people who are on Medicare.
I wonder what's going to happen with the next
those
election.
Are some policies, for example.
Okay. So I would like
No, I
to say,
think,
first of all, I do agree with the fact
one
that I
side's
am
gonna get
very, very pro-life.
destroyed, and
That does have
whoever
to
it
do with the
is-
fact that I'm also religious. But on top of that, I would say that the big things that I supported Donald Trump for and I still support, and I will say I do think a lot of the time it is trying to vote for the lesser of two evils. But at the same time, I think that his economic plan with time could actually benefit the American people. I think that tariffs were.
I think
well,
if Trump
first of all, if we go back into history,
gets shot
think
at
about
again,
taxation.
that's
This
a
is something
civil
that we
war.
fought against and we left England for. The fact that we
Dude,
are
I don't see
overtaxed
how it couldn't be.
and struggling to survive every day.
Actually, it was
I don't
taxation
think.
without representation.
Okay, well, thank you. That's great. All I'm saying is that I think that
Who exactly
the
would they
tariffs,
go after?
with time, would have the chance to actually benefit the American people. I
Who would
think
go
that
after?
this is how a lot of countries do this. I mean, think about
Like
the
in
tariffs that
response
we've been
if
paying to different
Trump
countries
got
for
shot at.
the entirety of our
Oh, well, people who say
nation.
shit
Basically, this has been an ongoing
that would
thing where
get
we
him
are tariffed by
people to
other
shoot at him,
countries,
like
but we are
Destiny.
not
People at
tariffing
Destiny, they
other
probably
countries for them
maybe
to
not
sell.
attack
But
news
I think the biggest
organizations,
reason
but
for me would definitely be
well, like Antifa would be in
abortion
the streets
and gun
and shit.
control.
Like
I think that
a bunch
the
of,
biggest
it could
the
be like
biggest
2020
things that I'm
over again,
concerned about
kind of thing.
is the freedom to say anything, freedom of speech, which we saw being attacked specifically with Charlie Kirk, which is a terrible and awful thing. I think we could both agree that that instance was awful, right? But also,
Can I get in here at all?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can I get in here at all? Or am I gonna have a dialogue back and forth?
Yes, sir. Yes, I just wanted. I was just trying to show my point really quickly. The big things that I would say is that that I think that the freedom of speech is one of our biggest liberties as Americans, to be able to share our mixed opinions. This is something we're doing right now. We're able to debate with each other, and that's amazing. And I think that that is something that the Republican side has advocated for. Do I think they're actively doing a good job? No, I don't even agree, honestly, with Jimmy Kimmel being taken off the air. So I would love for you to respond, but those are just a few of the things that I think that are better off with the Trump administration: guns, speech, and and the border. I think he's done an amazing job on the border.
Yeah, not only could you mention specifically Jimmy Kimmel in terms of free speech, but you can also mention the fact that he wanted to put people in prison for a year for burning the American flag, which was determined by the Supreme Court to be protected by the First Amendment. So that's a very basis of free speech. Plus, he's called media organizations illegal, and he's also specifically cracked down on protests against him and against his particular positions. We can show all that within the context of his administration. He took people like Mike Pence, and he gutted them from the entire movement because he said that he put himself over the Constitution. Right? He put himself over the Constitution. That's what Mike Pence said. And then cast him aside and got J.D. Vance, who was on his side and would have certified the false slates of electors, on January 6th. I mean, on January 6th.
Right. I think that the big. Oh, sorry. You can continue.
No, you're good. I mean, I only addressed free speech. I also wanted to address your points on tariffs.
Oh,
We can just address free speech for now. I'll bring up tariffs and
Yeah, I mean that's okay. Free speech is a big one that I find very important. I think that I think overall the big things that I see in America in general is that either way there is an attack on free speech, and I think it's the media itself that is just.
You ever watch Reservoir Dogs?
No, but I've heard of it. That's Tarantino.
Yeah.
Oh. Is it good?
I don't think it's like his best film or anything like that, but yeah, I guess it's okay.
It's a weird name.
Yeah. Then again, I don't know, like Pulp Fiction. When I read that name, I think of orange juice.
Orange juice, yeah.
Yeah, he knows it. Him and Dean have both said if I go over to their TikTok and request to get on, that they'll pull me right up. Like, just request. We'll pull Andrew up right now. It's like, well, I'm here. Do it right now then. I'm here. Do it. Pull me up, fucker.
You think if like some politician or whoever, I guess it could be a celebrity, if they were watching Schindler's List and they laughed at like the shit that we found funny, do you think that'd be it for them? Like if somebody found them or recorded them?
Yeah, probably. Especially that out of context, yeah.
That's what freedom of speech is. It has nothing to do
Right.
with government. I don't know why you keep bringing up Charlie Kirk. That has nothing to do with government. I don't know
No,
why that's
well,
relevant.
some people
It's
say
kind of
that.
like if someone heard me say, "Oh, I found Pearl Harbor one time like hilariously funny," and when Cuba Gooding Jr. was shooting at the Japanese planes, I would just couldn't stop laughing. Like they'd probably find that reprehensible, without context of maybe why I think it's funny, or that was the only time I thought it was funny. Because from the way it's filmed, it looks like he's shooting at his own ships while they're exploding beside him, so it looks fucking crazy.
Which I think we're both saying, but we're saying it in different ways. That yes, all sides should.
But
be
it's
listened
not
to,
actually
but
him blowing up his
besides
own
that,
ships.
The gun laws is a huge thing.
It's just
for
how it's
me.
filmed.
The ability, I don't think that taking away gun, like that's what fascist countries have done, is they take away your ability to speak and protect
Take away
yourself.
people's due process rights, specifically.
You ever watch Starship Troopers or whatever?
He said that he would do due process.
Very long time ago, like basically so long that I wouldn't remember anything.
Who want red flag laws?
I never have heard that. I would need to see proof of that, but that's okay. I just think that.
Saying that?
Sorry, what was that?
Someone to claim saying that?
Yeah, that's okay. You can go ahead. I think that most of the time, Kamala was very active in saying she wanted to restrict guns. She wanted to restrict the ability to have people carry certain.
If an individual is reported to be not only the firearms, but any weapon in the possession of that individual.
Because that's another system. Because the trial, the court takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of fun to go to court, so you could do exactly what you say, but take the guns first, go to the due process second.
This seems like a very specific situation, though. You're playing this on an all-encompassing.
Wait, isn't that a violation of the Second Amendment?
Is he talking about
It's been a while since I've Uber Eats
for like getting
in my house.
I don't understand what the position of this is.
It's been a while since I've Ubered any food to my house.
I just want to make sure that Democrats
You understand that that's a violation of your Second Amendment.
Okay, well, as long as you agree that Democrats were going to stop using red flag laws.
The right to bear arms. But if you're a criminal who is murdering
Before
someone,
you
then yes, you should not be able
die,
to have a gun. That is the
you
difference.
have to try
I'm not saying that you don't have the right.
McDonald's pancakes with their syrup, dude.
Just
make a bucket list and have that on it.
Be like, again, a violation of the Second Amendment from that perspective.
Was this part?
Also,
Yes.
to a violation of the Second Amendment for the bump stock ban that was considered unconstitutional. But we can also check in terms of the other aspects in terms of this perspective that you might consider against the Second Amendment to a certain extent. What is the big deal of it being against the Second Amendment to a certain extent?
It's not that. It's about putting laws in place. It's putting laws in place where you are literally unable to get a certain type of
We're
firearm
close
or
to
keep a firearm. The
bringing
fact of
back
the
the
matter is
woolly
that all
mammoth,
laws
right?
that we make, the better things.
Yep.
Things are not going to get better just because
Heard something
we
about
add
that the
more
other
laws.
week.
Sometimes it's being
If
able
they
to
bring it
defend
back,
your
dude,
own your own house. And
I want to
think that
get
the thing on
a
the
steak.
left is that they really
You think you're gonna
Of
be
a
able
woolly
to get
mammoth.
steaks for woolly mammoth steaks?
For $10,000, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be allowed. They're definitely gonna be a protected species.
that if we take away guns, that's not going to make things better. I
Oh, I
in this
don't know.
instance, you're talking about a criminal case that
There's
happened.
always going to be a black market for it, right?
Actively shooting someone, yes, they should not.
Wait, in that circumstance, they're not actively shooting someone. It's a red flag law. It's about, like, this could happen.
Okay, so what I'm saying is I would need context for the specific
It's
case. I
fucking,
don't understand what this,
it's fucking crazy. Like, I've never heard of anybody eating an elephant in modern times.
I think that there should be reform. I do not think that their guns should ever be
I'm gonna
taken
give
away.
it 5 more minutes,
There is a
and then I'm
difference
gonna be so
between
fucking bored.
okay.
Oh, it's
You
just
think?
the tusks.
No, I'm saying
I'll give it 5
minutes.
minutes. Get legal access
No,
to guns.
I am saying absolutely not.
Well, maybe the meat isn't good enough for them to hunt them for the meat.
I think that the problem.
Okay, 12:18. I'm out of here.
I wouldn't know. So I've never
I
heard
don't
that
want to
either.
fucking sit here forever.
Okay, so you are saying it's okay.
While this fucking idiot runs away, I just don't want. I'm just not interested in that.
Saying that there can be.
I just assume, you know,
What is the Second Amendment?
cavemen.
You're violating
They seem to like it.
right?
Yeah, but well, it's. I would say it's not necessarily them liking it. It's
Someone's a violent sex offender. They were held civilly
them
liable
needing
for
to
sexual
eat, right?
Should they be allowed to get access to a gun?
So they would.
I don't think so. No,
Huh?
I think that's again a criminal case. That's.
I don't know. Aren't there like other, like safer things to hunt?
Okay, but if you're a sex
I don't know how much it takes.
Well,
to
if you're in
kill a woolly
Africa,
mammoth,
let's say you're in
actually.
Africa, right? And the only way that you're gonna eat, or the only way that you're gonna be able to find animals is, you want to hunt maybe a less dangerous animal, which would be a zebra. Okay, but then you're gonna have to deal with lions and hyenas and other predators. Or you can hunt an animal that not many predators go after just because they're too big and probably a lot harder to take down and a lot more energy needed. And you can just gang up, you can just circle around an elephant and stab it in the legs and it'll go down instead of going for a zebra where you could have a bunch of predators around. I feel like it's just a risk assessment thing.
I do not agree that at all that if Trump has done any of those things, I think that it's absolutely wrong. And I do not.
Do you believe any of them are telling the truth?
I don't know. I have not. I have honestly, truthfully, I did not even listen to the.
Women. If 26 different women came out against specifically someone that you knew, would you stay friends with them?
No, not at all. But I also did say at the beginning of this debate.
Wait, by the way, but it's enough reason for you to not stay friends with them, but it's not enough reason for you to not support them for president?
I do not believe that case was done and did actual due diligence. I do not know all of the details of it. I would have to actually research it, and I could come back and debate you on it, and I'd love to do that due diligence. I am very new to debating, so I am a little
Just gonna watch the street.
I do apologize. I'm trying to be as
Eyes are hurt.
clear and concise as possible, but I will say
2 minutes.
I absolutely will never say that
2 minutes, and then I'm gone.
better of the two evils.
Yeah, but like if any of the victims are telling the truth, well, then why do you support a guy that has done that?
I do not support his past at all. I think that this is a very big blunder of the fact that like you're basically pushing one thing.
No, but you're overlooking. Like you're still.
I just don't get it. Basically, it's always like that. You know, these guys are always like, these TikTokers will come over here and be like, debate our champion Parker. I'm like, okay, good. I'll go over to fucking live debate with him right now. And then it never happens because they don't actually do debates. Usually because the job is like, don't lose anything. And we can have a conversation back and forth, and of course the person can do what you choose.
At least man up. If you were gonna say it, at least man up and say that you said it.
I don't take that no offense. You're not even a man yourself, so I take no offense to that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He is a man.
Last time I checked, my birth certificate says male, just like yours, right? I have a dick like you, right?
I thought you was
I have a dick just like you. I'm a man.
So you like girls?
I do. I'm bisexual. I'm not gay, first of all. And second of all,
told and I was told to say a bunch of stupid shit. And I'm literally just here to have a good faith discussion with you guys. That's it.
Okay, no, I'm all for that. Now, Jalen, let people talk and let people finish their statements.
You've been really, Ariana, I don't know what it is with you today. You've been really forgiving to people who are not good people to you.
Forgive, no, you know me. I say if you're gonna have a debate with people, you gotta allow them to finish their point. Like even though you don't agree with them, you have to allow them to finish. I've
True.
always said,
True.
you know me. I'm very liberal in my thoughts. I really, trust me. 99% of people come up here, I don't like their views, but if I can listen to what they got to say, what's the point of having the conversation with them?
Don't mute us. Anytime me and Lamont need to take a conversation.
Yeah, but I get it.
I think that's
Yeah, power tripping.
Alright. Go ahead. Yeah, you were the first person that hit me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of go after the prompt here. When will you address YT on YT crime? Just kind of ask what's meant by that. What do you guys meaning? Yeah. So anyway, just wondering.
Do you not know what white on white crime is?
No, I do, but I'm not sure what you mean by when is this going to be addressed or what the specific context is.
Beat around the bush. Start talking about black and white. Because that doesn't mean that that's not what black and white crime is. That's not what it allows CK to do.
No, I mean, but you agree, Holmes. Yeah, so I mean, but don't you agree with